Well, I did it again. Something foolish that I should have figured out a lot sooner. But I spent over $400 to address a $6 problem. Stick around, I'll tell you all about it. I've had quite a few videos recently doing firewood, taking down some trees. I've got a section of the property that I'm working on clearing for future parking, and I'm trying to grow the firewood business. So anyway, there's been a lot of chainsaw work, and in some recent videos, you guys have said things like, man, you need a bigger saw, or that saw is really bogging down in that tree, or something like that. And to be honest, yeah, for the past, I don't know, week or two, my Husqvarna, I've got it right here, the 455 Rancher that I've been using for some time now. This is my biggest saw, and I only had two saws up to this point. This is a 20-inch bar on the 455 Rancher, which this is a consumer grade saw in case you aren't familiar with it. And yeah, it's been cutting kind of poorly lately. And I have time and time again tried to touch up the chain, try to get it to cut really well, and it just hasn't been impressive at all here lately. If you look really close here, I don't know if that's going to make out or not, but it clearly says that this uses a 3/8 by .050 chain. It's 72 link chain. I know I've got the right chain on it, that's not why I'm bringing this up, but it's clearly a 3/8 pitch chain. This steel sharpener is what I've been using to try to keep that chain sharp, and this steel sharpener says right on it, let's see if that makes out. I don't know if it will or not, but a 3/8 pitch is what it says on there as well. So I assumed if I use this, it would sharpen up that chain really well. And I have used this on my other saw, the small saw that I just showed you in the last video. I took down a standing dead oak with it. That's only a 30cc saw, and I touched it up with the same sharpening tool. It's a 3/8 pitch chain, but it's a narrower kerf chain. And anyway, this sharpened up that saw just fine. It's 3/8, that's 3/8, but this sharpener, I found out, does not work on the Husqvarna saw. I realized after a little while of trying to get my Husqvarna chain sharp with this tool that these files weren't really fitting in the tooth the way that I expected them to, and no matter how much I tried to continue to work it, this file was not getting those teeth sharp. And that is what I figured out, that I should have figured out a long time ago, is that the files that are in this tool are 5/32, and that Husqvarna chain needs 7/32 file. So I picked up here from the Home Depot 7/32 round files, Power Care, not an expensive set of files. I think they were $6.98 for two of them, and we can see that this file fits in there now just right. Now I've had to spend about 30 minutes on this chain going over it completely with the right size file to get each of these teeth back in shape, and I can tell you it cuts like a completely different animal now that these are properly sharpened. So that was the solution to the problem, was get the right size file. But wait a second. I thought you said, Phil, you spent $400 to address this problem. Well, I did. I'll tell you more about that in a second. The last thing I'll tell you about these is that there's a couple different brands out there of these, and you can find this style sharpener with the right size files in it. Unfortunately, I thought I was just going to be able to get those files that I purchased and put them into this sharpener, but it doesn't work that way either. The holes where the files go in are exactly the right size for this size file, and that's it. So couldn't do that. And the size that you need is clearly marked on the packaging for the chain. So whatever chain you're using, just look it up if you don't still have the package, and you can see clearly on the picture online that the recommended file size is usually right on there. At least I found that it is for both the Husqvarna chains and the Oregon chains, which are the two that I've used primarily on my saws. So the performance issue that I was having with that Husqvarna saw really bogging down, not cutting well, not cutting fast, is largely due to the fact that the chain was super dull. The teeth were not sharpened appropriately on that. Despite my best efforts with the wrong tool, it just wasn't doing well. But here's how I spent $400 to address this problem. I just assumed I needed a bigger saw, so I went out and I bought a bigger saw. So here is the brand new Echo CS590 Timberwolf. And this is a pretty popular saw from what I've been able to tell online. This Echo CS590 is a higher powered saw. It's a 59cc saw, so it has a stronger engine, should have more power, should cut better than the 455 Rancher. But despite that, this saw retails for significantly less than the Husqvarna. So if this performs as I expect it to, shouldn't be any surprise that these saws are as popular as they are. So I want to go ahead and unbox this now, put some fuel in it, warm it up, kind of break it in, and do a little bit of cutting, and then we can compare it to the Husqvarna and see how it does. All right. Who doesn't like a good unboxing? Let's do it. Open, open, manual, foil, scrunch. Oh yes, warranty information. Yeah, warranty. Yeah. You know, the first thing I noticed, I wish I had a scale. I don't know, comparable weight, but I think it's a hair lighter than the Husqvarna. Alright, got this stuff. Quick start guide. Yeah. 50 to 1. Oil, chain brake, turn it on, press the decomp button, pull the choke, and let it rip. Okay. Now it's got a little thing here. Alright, is that everything? Boom. Okay. It's got an Oregon brand chain on it. It's nice and tight. Alright. Okay, on. Fuel. Oil. Okay, there we go. All right. So I had a high degree of confidence that the Husqvarna should be slower. So the first 3 cuts, I actually let the Husqvarna cut through where the wedge was. So these weren't even complete cookies on this log. So there's the 3 cuts from the Husqvarna. Here are the 3 cuts from the Echo. And each of those, except for that one, were completely round cookies. And it definitely felt like the Echo went faster. The chain on the Husqvarna here is a safety chain, and the chain that's on the Echo is not. So that's going to make a difference as well. And of course, the chain on the Husqvarna I sharpened myself, and the chain on the Echo is brand spanking new, so it's factory sharp. So after throwing the footage through the little timer machine here, I'm able to put the times up on the screen now. That's what they are for this unfair comparison of these 2 saws. I'm definitely gonna like having this CS590 around. It feels like it pulls stronger. It feels like it cuts faster than the Husqvarna. Of course, I know this test is probably a little lopsided. The saw itself is definitely lighter as well. Not by much, but it's a tiny bit lighter, and I appreciate that. So look forward to a lot more of this saw on the channel. I want to kind of run it through the paces, do all the things that I do, fell some trees, cut some firewood, and try it on a couple of different wood species, and I'll give you an update on how it's doing here on a future video. So thanks for checking out the channel today, guys. I hope you learned a little lesson about the file sizes and the difference between the 3/8 file size, or the file size needed on a 3/8 chain on a Stihl saw versus the file size needed on a 3/8 chain on a Husqvarna or other brand saw. So now we know, well, won't make that mistake again. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.